the Democrats are a mess. They're a mess like I've never seen a political party before. But that in itself is I think a very good thing. And what comes from here is there's a lot of possibilities now. And there's never been like I don't know who the person is. I don't see anyone out there that I could think of that would fill this role. But there's never been a more ripe time for someone to Donald Trump the Democratic Party now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like somebody what Donald Trump did, people tend to forget this because now like it's also because the accusation from the Democrats is that, the Republican parties are all a bunch of Trump cultists or something like that. But like I'm old enough to remember 2016. And what actually happened was that Donald Trump came in and just really resonated with the voters. And the establishment of the Republican Party hated it. They were openly talking about changing the rules at the Republican National Convention to deny him the nomination in 2016. What they were saying is that they were going to raise the number of delegates required so high that nobody could hit it, and then say, hey, since nobody hit it, we select Mitt Romney again, and we're going to run Mitt Romney again. Like, they were openly conspiring to steal the thing from him, and eventually he just had so much support on the ground that they couldn't do it. Right now, someone could totally do that to the Democrats. But the thing is, it would have to be somebody outside of the three-letter agency control, because that's what everyone's rejecting right now. But if you were to actually sit there and go like, and even policies I don't necessarily agree with, but there are a lot of policies that if it was actually like a pro-labor working class party, you could, Bernie Sanders showed you a little bit of what's possible. And this was from like an 80-year-old socialist who didn't really have the balls to go through with it at the end of the day. Like if somebody younger and a little bit more with the current zeitgeist were able to do that, that could happen.
I mean, I legitimately think that AOC can develop into that candidate. She might not be there yet, but I think she can develop into that. It could be out there. It could be.
I don't know. I don't see AOC being the one to do it, but I could be wrong about that. She's got some qualities, unlike almost all the other ones you could think of. I just, I don't see anyone right now who I think could be that person, but I never would have. I mean, if you had asked me in 2014 who's going to come take over the Republican Party, I never would have guessed Donald Trump was going to come do what he did. So it might be the person we're seeing who we're not even thinking of, or it might just be some unknown. Same with Obama was an unknown. I mean, obviously he had very powerful people behind his presidential run. It's not like he was a true, just like grassroots guy, but he wasn't anyone we would have been necessarily thinking about. I mean, he gave that big speech at the 2004 DNC, but that was it. That was the thing he was known for. Is he gave one great speech at the besides that, he was a state senator and then a junior senator. No one's thinking he was going to be the next president.
It could be like a Jon Stewart type character. Of course, I don't think he would ever. I honestly don't think a comedian will ever run, but I never thought Trump would ever run. So
there is something about Jon Stewart that is he's, and obviously I disagree with him on a lot of stuff too, but he is an authentic person. And there's something about that gives you a huge advantage, particularly in our current political climate. People are so sick of the phoniness. It's like and they're right to be, because you could only, so you can lie to some of the people some of the time. Like this, you can only lie so much before eventually nobody wants to hear you in that phony voice telling the same phony lies anymore. And at least Jon Stewart is, I will say, I think Jon Stewart is telling the truth the way he sees it. Like, I don't think he's necessarily right about a lot of things. He is right about a lot of things, but I think he's wrong about a lot of other things. But I just get the impression that he believes what he's saying. And there's something powerful about that.
Especially when he's surrounded by people that disagree with him, he's still willing to say it.
Yeah.
That takes a certain kind of courage. Yeah. And be funny doing it. But he's not going to run.
No, I don't think so.
This is annoying. Nobody, like, you have to be fucking crazy to run.
That is one of the real problems, And then, like, people, like, attack Donald Trump for being, like, a narcissist. And
You
it's like,
have to be,
yeah,
I think.
but who the hell else is going to ever do this?
Yeah.